It is about time the Denver Broncos get some good news, and good news is what we got for you on this episode and so much more. Before a must-win game against the New England Patriots and Bill Belichick on Christmas Eve, the Denver Broncos just have a whole plethora of good news and some juicy rumors that we're going to hop into in this video. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ben. I break down all things Denver sports, and it is awesome to have you along for the ride. So it is kind of popular right now in Broncos Country to be saying the sky is falling and that everything that could have gone wrong for us last weekend went wrong, and we're going to miss the playoffs and we're going to cut bait and all of Russell Wilson's salary is going to screw us for years and years to come. But I'm just telling you, stop being so pessimistic. Our future is in front of us. The grass is green. If I didn't believe that, I wouldn't say it. It is. If we beat 3 backup quarterbacks in a row, with Bailey Zappi, Mac Jones wasn't even good. We would have beat him, and now we're playing the guy who's replaces Mac Jones. That's how bad he was. And playing Bill Belichick, who's checked out on his way out of New England. We play a backup quarterback, a interim coach in the Chargers at home, and then play a backup quarterback and an interim coach in the Raiders. I feel very, very good. So if those 3 things happen, and then just the teams win who are favored to win, the Broncos are guaranteed a playoff spot. I have a whole video coming and who we need to root for that. That's dropping on Thursday, but I feel very good about it. Don't look at all 3 of those things needing to happen and do the math on that. Instead, just take it one game at a time. Are you confident that the Broncos are going to beat the Patriots on Sunday? I'm so confident, and if not, somebody better come over here and just explain to my kids on Christmas Day why their dad is in the dumps, because I'll be a very, very sad man. But let's hop into the great news of the day, the juicy rumor of the day, maybe a missing piece who could help the Broncos on a playoff run. So the great news of the day is that Kareem Jackson's suspension has ended. So Kareem is coming back from his suspension. If this sounds familiar, this is the second time he's been back from a suspension. Yet I think this is great news because we know that PJ Locke has been battling a neck injury. And so now the fact that we have some depth there and we have someone who can step in, we have like a veteran presence who can step up and help lead a lot of these players who've never been on a winning team. None of these players on our team have sniffed the playoff. Like Justin Simmons' first year in the league was right after we won the Super Bowl. So no one knows what it's like to be playing meaningful football at this point. So he can step in and be that veteran presence. And the other thing that a lot of analysts are saying is that we're going to be really utilizing his services in the dime. And I think if you look at how PJ Locke was exposed, granted, he was probably hurt, but he really got eaten up when he was playing man-to-man defense. And so I like the idea of having Kareem Jackson, who is a former cornerback who has been a great defender. He's not quite as athletic as he was, but I like the fact that he's there, and it's been kind of popular now in Broncos Country to dog on him, but I like Kareem Jackson, and if you look, the team likes him, and that's more important than any of our opinions, is his boys love him, and I think he's that calming presence, that veteran presence that could really come in and help lead us to a playoff. So other great news is just the injury report. And I just want to knock on anything that's wood around here as I go through this, but we are healthier and healthier each week. And last week on one of those tush-push Russell Wilson belly flop kind of things, you saw Quinn Meinertz really slow to get up, or I think it was McGlinchey really slow to get up. We saw Meinertz the week before. I've just been terrified that one of those guys is going to go down. They are all healthy. The one caveat is Nick Bonito. We still are not hearing much about him, and I think if you look at how Jared Goff picked us apart, Jared Goff threw more touchdown passes against us in one game than we'd let up the previous 3 or 4. And I think a lot of that is due to just the cleanliness of his pocket. And we really need some help getting pressure on the quarterback. So where is that going to come from? And that is where our last juiciest rumor is coming in. And if you did not hear the news, Justin Houston, who is a 34-year-old 4-time Pro Bowler, just an absolute beast of a man, just over 100 sacks, very great edge rusher, has been cut by the Panthers, and he'll be 34 years old. A lot of people say like his time has passed. That's the exact age that DeMarcus Ware, in a similar position, stepped up and led a team really with that veteran presence, with that athleticism, to a Super Bowl run. And so we actually, there were a lot of rumors that we could have even traded for him at the deadline. We could now sign him off of waivers and we would barely owe him anything. So this could be a really, really cool move. The fact that what if all of a sudden, yeah, we don't have Benito, but on the other side, a Cooper, we could have Browning, we could have Houston, we could, that I think that could be a very, very, very exciting thing. So weigh in on the comments. Would you like to see us make a move for Houston? I mean, what do we truly have to lose? We also are kind of at that point of time where it is now or never with the Russell Wilson decision. You hear more and more people say that if we don't make the playoffs, their guess is that we pull the plug on this whole Russell Wilson experience. And by doing that, we'll go into the cap implications here in subsequent videos if that happens. But it really does handcuff us for several years to come. So I would love to see the Broncos make the playoffs with Russell Wilson, see what that tandem of Russell Wilson and Sean Payton can do, not just in a playoff run this year, but for years and years to come. I truly think that you are crazy if you think that the loss against the Detroit Lions on Saturday night was totally Russell Wilson's fault. I feel like he has one of the most hurried pockets that I've ever seen, and anytime he's ever had time to step up and find someone, I feel like he makes a great decision. And I don't know, I know I have all of his jerseys, and so does my son, but I really like him. Last thing I wanted to get to, if you're still rolling with us on this video, is what is your reaction to the Sean Payton lambasting and berating of Russell Wilson on the sideline? And mostly we've already talked about just how we felt about the Sean Payton part of it, but what is your thought on how Russell Wilson responded? There have been a lot of people on 104.3 The Fan. I heard Vic Lombardi talk about it. I even heard Teddy Bruschi on the 4-letter ESPN channel come out and say they thought Russell Wilson was less of a man because he didn't give it back. He didn't clap back at Payton. He didn't get back in his face. He didn't stand up for himself. And that somehow he was less of a man to just sit there and take Sean Payton yelling at him. So I'd love to hear, do you agree with that take? Should Russell Wilson have yelled back? Should he have also made a scene? I think as a dad of a young boy who's been on a couple episodes of this very YouTube channel, I really admired Russell Wilson's response to that. I think there's a fine line between being walked on and then respecting authority and just taking your oats, and just, I think it takes a stronger person to sit there while someone just piles and piles and piles on you than it does to snap back immaturely. And over these past couple of years, my son, it pains me to say this, but because of all the commercials, because of Madden football, he loves Mahomes. He hates the Chiefs, but he loves Mahomes. I don't think he knows those are different yet. And frankly, I was embarrassed for my son to see Pat Mahomes after that ref fiasco, after the patty melt, because that's not the kind of leader I want him to look up to. Someone who complains about officiating, who, can't even be a good sport in the line, shaking the opposing quarterback's hand. And so I don't want a quarterback who pops off at his coach like that. I don't think it makes Russell Wilson less of a man that he sat there and he took it. And but I could totally be wrong. I want to hear what y'all think, because I got the smartest subs in the whole building. So thank you so much, as always, for riding with me. Broncos Country, we're making the playoffs. Y'all are here for it. Let's ride.